Imagine a mountain range, not carved from rock and ice, but forged from steel, wire, and human will. Miles of entrenched Ottoman defenses, stretching across the dusty plains of Palestine in 1918, seemed utterly unconquerable. The Great War was grinding to a brutal halt. But in the Middle East, a different kind of war was brewing, a strategic chess match where one general was about to make an impossible move. General Edmund Allenby, commander of the Egyptian Expeditionary Force, faced a formidable challenge. His British and Commonwealth troops were bogged down against well-prepared Ottoman lines. A direct assault would be a bloodbath, a repeat of the Western Front horrors. Allenby knew he needed something audacious, something that would not just break the enemy, but shatter their very expectations. His objective, to destroy the Ottoman forces, specifically the Yildirim Army Group, and secure the path to Damascus. But how do you achieve total victory when your enemy is dug in like a tick? Allenby's answer wasn't brute force. It was a masterpiece of misdirection, a grand illusion designed to move the mountain of Ottoman defenses without firing a single shot at its perceived stronghold. The Ottomans, led by German General Otto Liman von Sanders, expected an attack through the Jordan Valley. It was the logical place, the shortest route to important railway junctions. This expectation was Allenby's canvas. He decided to paint a vivid picture of an imminent attack in the Jordan Valley, while secretly preparing his true strike along the coastal plain. The deception began subtly. For weeks, a small detachment of Indian cavalry, the Jodhpur Lancers, were ordered to make conspicuous movements in the Jordan Valley. They would ride out daily, kicking up enormous dust clouds, as if signaling the presence of a much larger force. Their movements were designed to be seen, to be reported. Meanwhile, to enhance the illusion, a vast network of fake camps and supply dumps began to appear in the valley. Hundreds of dummy horses and men were constructed from straw and canvas. These were no crude figures. They were meticulously crafted, complete with cooking fires at night. Even laundry lines with soldiers' uniforms hung out to dry, visible from Ottoman observation posts. The engineers went further, building a fake railway siding, complete with a mock-up train, to suggest massive logistical preparations for a sustained offensive. Water was a critical resource. Allenby ordered the construction of a new water pipeline, seemingly for the Jordan Valley forces, but designed to be completed after the real offensive began. Crucially, all radio traffic regarding the actual attack force was completely silenced. But in the Jordan Valley, radio operators were busy sending out a flurry of coded messages. These messages were deliberately sent in a code the Ottomans were known to have broken. They spoke of reinforcements, supply needs, and strategic objectives, all pointing to the Jordan Valley. To further cement the deception, a strawman general, a senior officer known for his love of fishing, was seen frequently in the Jordan Valley, making a show of his leisure activities. His presence, combined with rumors deliberately spread by British agents, suggested a relaxed confidence, as if the British were settling in for a long, drawn-out campaign in the valley. The actual strike force, 2 corps of infantry and 3 divisions of cavalry, were secretly concentrated on the coastal plain, hidden from aerial reconnaissance and ground patrols. Their movements were conducted almost exclusively at night. Troops marched for miles under the cover of darkness, then dug in and camouflaged themselves perfectly by dawn. No fires were allowed. No tents were pitched. Even the dust kicked up by their movements was meticulously swept away or disguised. Silence was paramount. The sheer scale of this covert movement was staggering. Thousands of men, horses, and artillery pieces shifted positions, a silent, invisible tide gathering on the enemy's flank. General Liman von Sanders, receiving constant intelligence reports about the Jordan Valley buildup, took the bait. He shifted his reserves and attention to the perceived threat. He believed his coastal flank was secure, protected by the limited space between the Mediterranean and the heavily fortified hills. He saw no way a large force could pass undetected. This was the mountain Allenby had to move. Not a physical peak, but the fixed belief in the Ottoman command about where the main attack would come. And he moved it brilliantly. On September 19th, 1918, at 4:30 a.m., the deception ended. A massive artillery barrage erupted along the coastal plain, shattering the pre-dawn quiet and the Ottoman illusions. The British infantry stormed forward, quickly breaching the thinly held Ottoman lines. The surprise was absolute. The defenders were caught completely off guard, many still asleep. Behind the infantry, the cavalry thundered through the gaps, unhindered. This was the moment Allenby had planned for, the Great Ride, that would decide the fate of an empire. The 5th Cavalry Division, followed by the Australian Light Horse, surged forward, bypassing resistance, their objective deep behind enemy lines, the vital Ottoman headquarters and communications. They moved with incredible speed, covering miles and hours, seizing key road junctions and disrupting the Ottoman command structure before it could even react. The Ottoman front collapsed, not just from frontal assault, but from a complete encirclement. Their retreat routes were cut off by the galloping cavalry. Within 36 hours, British cavalry had advanced over 60 miles, capturing thousands of prisoners and General Lyman von Sanders' headquarters near Nazareth. He barely escaped capture himself. The sheer speed and scale of the breakthrough were unprecedented in World War I. This wasn't just a victory. It was an annihilation of the Ottoman 7th and 8th armies. The Battle of Megiddo, named after the ancient battlefield where many decisive battles were fought, became a textbook example of a successful maneuver warfare and brilliant deception. Historian John Keegan, in his work The First World War, describes it as the greatest battle of maneuver of the war, perhaps of any war. The victory opened the door to Damascus and ultimately led to the collapse of the Ottoman Empire, changing the geopolitical landscape of the Middle East forever. It's tempting to believe that the speed of the cavalry alone won the day, but that's a myth. The groundwork of deception, laid over weeks, was the true architect of victory. Without the elaborate feints in the Jordan Valley, without the radio traffic, the fake camps, and the strawman general, the coastal plain would have been heavily defended. Allenby's genius wasn't just in his battle plan, but in his profound understanding of human psychology, exploiting expectations and biases to his strategic advantage. What we don't know for certain is the exact moment Lyman von Sanders fully realized the scale of the deception. Did he have lingering doubts? Or was the illusion truly perfect until the very last minute? Some accounts suggest minor Ottoman patrols reported unusual movements on the coastal plain, but these were dismissed as minor skirmishes or probing attacks, overshadowed by the perceived threat in the valley. The British Imperial War Museum archives contain detailed operational orders and intelligence reports that meticulously lay out the deception plan, confirming its deliberate and complex nature. A detailed analysis published in the Journal of Military History in 1999 by historian David R. Woodward further highlights the sophisticated intelligence and counterintelligence operations involved. Allenby didn't just win a battle. He authored a masterclass in strategic misdirection, moving an entire mountain of enemy defenses and expectations with nothing but smoke and mirrors. His actions remind us that the greatest victories are often won not by the loudest roar, but by the quietest, most cunning whisper. The Battle of Megiddo stands as a stark reminder. Even in the bloodiest conflicts, the human mind, with its capacity for brilliant deception, can be the most powerful weapon of all. It wasn't just about outfighting the enemy, but outthinking them, making them believe a reality that simply didn't exist until it was far, far too late. This wasn't just a military victory. It was a psychological triumph, a testament to the power of a well-crafted lie in the crucible of war. The general who moved a mountain didn't physically alter the landscape. He altered perception, proving that the greatest obstacles are often those we construct in our own minds. And sometimes, the most impossible battles are won by the most improbable, brilliant deceptions. If stories of strategic genius and the untold moments that changed history captivate you, hit that subscribe button